Good morning. I'm Wannes Rams. I'm a technical leader at GFI, specialized in IBM collaboration products, specifically IBM Connections, IBM Sametime, and Lotusphere. I will talk today about Lotus Domino, what is new released in the current version 8.5.3, what is coming up in Domino next. I will talk about Lotus Traveler, IBM Docs, IBM Sametime, and after my colleague Chris' presentation, I will talk about the GFI packaged solutions. So what's new in the current release, most important new features? On the administration part, we've got an improved user rename process. In the past, one of the issues was that when the user was renamed, that certain calendar and scheduling info wasn't renamed properly, causing a lot of issues in the calendar. A new admin P process has been introduced for that to solve this issue. IBM also has released a tool that will convert a single user install to a multi-user install of the Notes client. Also, the fake multi-user installs where part of the data is on a network drive can be converted to a real multi-user install using this. Another tool they introduced is NICE, Notes Installation Cleanup Executable. This will clean up any, failing installations of Lotus Notes or fully remove a Notes client without leaving any traces on the PC. Along with some new policy settings, they also introduced a new policy, the machine-specific policy. This will allow you to create policy and create settings to specific machines or machine names. I'll give you an example. If you've got a user with a laptop and a desktop, at this moment, if you want him to have a local replica through policy, he's going to have it on his laptop and his desktop, while on his desktop that's not needed. This can be changed now using machine-specific policies. On the database level, they've introduced purge interval replication control. This new database feature is designed to avoid ghost documents to reappear in databases when they are not replicated for 90 days or more because of deletion stubs not being there anymore. Once it's enabled, they will not reappear in the database, but a Domino domain monitoring document will be created when it attempts to do it, so you'll be alerted. On the part of service, they've introduced the NSD, the crash failure information. This one now captures Lotusphere code when the server goes down. This might be useful when you're troubleshooting crashes that are related to custom applications with Lotusphere in it. Currently, this is only available for Windows and Solaris, but I suppose they will release it on Linux in the future. Another important one when it comes to security is ID Vault. They haven't technically changed anything, but they've added support for Citrix for ID Vault, which is a pretty big change. They also introduced some new licensing, a files and profiles entitlement that comes with your Domino license, which entitle you to the IBM Connections files and profiles components. You need to install them on a connection server, but you can use the files and profiles from the Notes sidebar or from the browser. They also introduced a Xworks server, which is a stripped-down Domino application server with a stripped-down cost, which allows you to install 4 applications. So what's coming up in Domino next? SAML, security assertion markup language. This is an XML-based open standard for exchanging authentication and authorization data between security domains. This is a bit complicated, but it has a simple mission, which is fewer password prompts and fewer passwords in general. It just means that you log on once to a SAML server, which then creates a federated identity, which then authenticates you on any other SAML-enabled server behind that. And what they're going to do in Domino next, they're going to make Domino an SAML server, so you can log on to the Domino server and create that federated identity on that server. Another one they're going to introduce is SHA-2 support for secure MIME messages. More and more governments and financial customers require this standard, and the old one, SHA-1, is deprecated will be deprecated in 2013, so it's just necessary to change it. A very important one when it comes to social and integration of social components into the IBM stack is the OAuth credential store. This is an open standard for authorization, which is currently used by services like Facebook, LinkedIn, Gmail to connect them to each other. You probably have already seen the pop-up asking for your login from Facebook when you try to connect from Gmail or LinkedIn or whatever social application. What they're going to do in the Domino version is they're going to create, well, they're going to make the Domino server an OAuth credential server so you can integrate both ways. This might lead to, well, making Xpages social, for instance. Another improvement they promise is a database management tool. The goal of this tool is to create a single tool that will perform all application and database maintenance tasks, like compact index updates, etc. This will be a multi-threaded application for performance reasons, and it's going to be possible to create prioritizations. So Domino Next, how does it look on the overview? So the next version, which will be there in 2012, will be Node Social Edition. Most important things, they're going to focus on the client side and not on the server side. And they will, well, the only changes they will probably make on the server side are to integrate with connections and the activity streams that they will introduce in the next version of connections. The next +1 version in 2013 will be focused again on the server, and it will focus on the storage part, REST APIs, and the support for more platforms than it is right now. So, Lotus Traveler. In the current release, recently, they've added a lot of Android improvements, like meeting share actions that weren't there before, invite, reschedule. They also introduced encryption, and a very nice thing they did is they created some mail and calendar widgets for your Android phone homepage. On the Apple iOS front, and they also created support for Nokia Symbian 3, which wasn't there before. And on the iOS front, they introduced data-only wipe. Before, you could only wipe the complete device. They introduced folder management to create and remove folders and reply and forward indicators. So Traveler Next, one of the most important ones at last is that they're going to introduce high availability. So at last we'll be able to cluster Traveler. And they will create some Android enhancements and iOS enhancements. Most important ones for Android and iOS are to-dos. But for Android, they will make some extra effort to enhance the UI for mail and calendar for the ice cream sandwich tablet. On the part of security, they will introduce some new security features like copy to clipboard prevent and application level password for Android. And then another nice one is that Traveler, the next version of Traveler, will support Windows Phone again. It's not yet known which version of Windows Phone they will support, the current version or the next version, but they promised us that the next version of Traveler will support Windows Phone. So IBM Docs, new product, not out yet, currently in beta. Where does it come from? Symfony. Lotus Symfony has been co-developed with OpenOffice in the past by IBM. Now this is part of Oracle Apache OpenOffice, and they will probably not release a new version of Lotus Symfony. They are creating a new application called IBM Docs, and the goal of this application is to be able to do online editing of documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. I'll just show a couple of examples of what's going to be possible. Over here you can see an assignment section, which means that you can assign sections of a document using IBM Connections activities to other people. They can then work on it. They can, well, tell you that it's been done. You can follow up the work on it. On this screenshot, you can see that you can create inline comments on the parts that you're working on from the different people that are working on it. You can flag content, you can create follow-ups, and this is all done inside the document and in context of the document. On this slide, you can see that the co-editing in real time occurs. If you would be working on this document, you would see over here that somebody else is changing the text. You can see it inline just while you're working on it. It looks very promising. In the first release, it will be a cloud service, but it might become an on-premise service also. So what's new on the Sametime front? In the current release, 8.5.2, they've introduced native presence and instant messaging on smartphone and tablets. So iOS, Android, BlackBerry, you can use Sametime instant messaging on them, and you can also have meetings on them. They also introduced a light version of Sametime Unified Telephony, which allows you to, well, create basic integration of your IP telephony with Sametime. But this is a very lightweight version with a simple installation. In the next version of Sametime, the focus will be on the integration with IBM Connections communities. Some of the features of Sametime Standard and Sametime Advanced will be introduced into Connections, like announcement, polls, and skill tabs. An interesting one is that now a community from IBM Connections can be a meeting room owner. And you can use Connections files in meetings to present them, PDF files or PPT files, whatever. And one of the focus points of Sametime Next will be mobile audio and video. Because, well, at this moment, audio is already mainstream into social collaboration, but video is becoming more and more important. On the next slide, you can see a screenshot of Sametime Mobile on an iPhone. This already exists in the current version. This is an overview of the current version of Sametime. Sametime is becoming very important and a central component in your company's communication. You can combine everything. You can combine chat with meetings. You can connect it to your classic telephony, to your IP telephony, and to your video conferencing infrastructure. You can use this internally, externally,